Welcome to Land Academy. I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWitt.
We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth.
And sell it on the internet really fast.
We are Jack and Jill, and this is the Jack and Jill Show 2. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property.
Of all kinds, not just land.
For half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jack Butala with Jill DeWitt.
Hi.
Welcome to our show today. In this episode, Jill and I talk about good acquisitions replace sales. Man, I can't wait to talk about this. I love acquisitions. Sales, not so much. Hey, before we get into it, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Mark asked, I was trying a couple of different searches on RealQuest Pro and noticed a big difference in returned records when I chose absentee owners. If limiting my search to raw undeveloped land, wouldn't they all be absentee since there's not a residence on site? I love that.
Me too.
Any thoughts? Thanks.
Go ahead, Jill. This is a Captain Obvious situation.
It kind of is. They could be next door. I mean, there really is that.
That's still not an owner occupancy.
Right.
Can I rant for a second?
Go for it.
Owner occupancy is only for houses. It's not for any other type of real estate. Mm-hmm. And no one occupies vacant land. In fact, if you have a physical address on a piece of vacant land, you better price it differently than if you don't. Where it's just, there's this called a situs address, which is the site, which is a mailing address, and then the owner address. So, Mark, this is a good question, but that's a total SFR flipping, single-family residential flipping scenario. It has nothing to do with land. If you stick to Chapter 5 in the whole thing about how to choose property and how to use RealQuest, you'll nail it.
Are you telling him basically don't check that box?
Do not check that box.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's for houses.
That's, I think, was what he was asking.
And eventually, we're going to release, Jill and I buy a ton of houses, and we're going to eventually release how to do that. And it still doesn't apply.
We still don't care.
There's a bunch of phantom concepts out there that are really, really silly. Here's a couple.
Oh, it's true.
Driving for dollars is dumb.
Right.
All right, forget that. If you're doing it or ever have done it, stop today.
I think my direct quote is stupid.
Yeah.
Driving for dollars is stupid.
That soon. I think that's the title.
Yep.
Absentee ownership is stupid in all property types. It doesn't work. Why? Because you want to cast a wide net in your little fishing offer expedition. The more, the better. I'm not saying send letters to industrial building owners if you're trying to buy land. I'm saying, but the wider the net get cast, the more successful you're going to be intelligently.
Only mailing people with back taxes
Biggest
situations
myth in real estate. You're killing yourself. You're setting yourself up to fail.
Yep.
You might get lucky, like in a casino lucky, and then that's the worst thing that can happen. Then you think it's going to happen all the time. Worst thing that can happen is you walk into a casino, pull the lever, and win.
Right.
And then spend the rest of your life trying to recreate some silliness that you just got lucky.
Exactly.
Same thing with sending back tax mailers out.
Limiting yourself.
Work in the obituaries. Super silly. I've heard people say that.
Oh, that's actually funny.
Isn't that funny?
What do you come up with, 5 a week?
I don't know.
That
That's
could
what
be
I'm
really
saying.
a pain. Like
Right.
that. I mean, what a waste of time.
The whole point of this is to get people to call you back so you're not getting up in the morning and going out and trying to find business.
Right.
What you're doing is getting up in the morning or either opening the mailbox or returning calls or whatever you do to get, that's what you want. You want to get people to contact you. So if you send 10,000 intelligent offers out, man, let me tell you, it's going to rain executed purchase agreements back in your mailbox. Wake up, don't even take a shower, open the mailbox, and there's 10 of them there to choose from and to research. That's the scenario you want to be in. Don't check that box. Cast a wider net.
Thank you.
You have any more silliness?
No.
There's a lot of silliness.
You're right.
Oh, the only reason, by the way, I know about this is because I've done all these things.
This is a good point.
And spent money and lost money and the whole thing.
I realized that was a wrong way to do it.
If you have a question or you want to be in the show, reach out to either one of us on landinvestors.com. Today's topic, good acquisitions replace sales. Not just cheap acquisitions, not just quality real estate, but all around good acquisitions. Now, Joe, might be the time to talk about the 4 A's.
Oh, okay, good.
We haven't talked about that in a while.
We haven't really. You're right. Okay, so when we're looking at properties and reviewing to purchase, we have Jack came up with this years ago. The 4 A's. They are
Acreage.
More
is better.
They are access.
Access. More is better.
They are affordability.
Cheaper is better.
And they are attribute.
Right. Is it close to the Grand Canyon? Does it have a mountain view? Is there a cattle ranch next door? Well, that could be good or bad.
So when you're reviewing a property, those are the things that you're looking for. If it has all 4, awesome.
Yep.
You know you're right there. If it has 3 of the 4, that could still be good. A great attribute and access and affordability might trump acreage. It's still a great property.
Exactly. So a balance of all 4 of them is the perfect scenario. Does it always happen? You better knock it out of the park on one of them, though. You could even forego the other 3 if one of them's perfectly fantastic. So
exactly.
You just have to balance it out. And the more deals you do and the more experience you get, the more secondhand nature this becomes.
Exactly. And what's interesting is this is what we focus on the most is acquisitions. I have people all the time coming to me like, how come you guys don't talk about sales? I'm like, well, that's funny. Like you just mentioned in our, in Success Plant, there's not a lot of talking about sales other than I'm out of inventory because it's not an issue. If you buy it right and you market it right, I mean, everything else just falls into place.
Yeah.
I only get excited on the buy side because I know.
Me too.
That's it. You win when you buy it.
I get high on acquisitions, like literally. I think there's literally get high on it. I never get high on sales.
We do. We jump up and down like, wow, I can't believe what I'm buying right now. This is great.
Like we're buying like 150 or 170 lots right now. And for next to nothing, Jill negotiated the deal. They're all RV/mobile home lots, which are the best in my opinion. For next to nothing, we're going to easily clear $250,000 in this deal, probably in what? 3 months, maybe 3 to 6 months, let's say. If everything goes wrong, 6 months. But we still will clear it. And so the high that I got on that deal is over. They were purchased. It's, we're like days away from closing it. The seller is basically, he's leaving the country with this check. So, and then we'll piece them off and sell them, and I'll have forgotten about it by next week. So the highness is over. They're all going to sell. We'll sell them for like $1,500 each. I think we're paying $200 each. Do the math on that.
More than that, exactly. But yeah, right there.
So. But that's not to say we're just going to put them in the box and throw it away and forget about it. We'll go through the motions. Our team's going to go through the motions of making those properties look gorgeous, making it super easy on the seller on the buyer to check out with credit cards and the whole thing.
Exactly.
So, concentrate on acquisitions and mechanize your sales. That's my takeaway for the whole show. The sales will happen automatically.
And good acquisitions are easy acquisitions. They shouldn't be I spent a week on this one,
Right.
So one of the things too is like Jack said, casting a wide net. You want to have 20, 30, 40 potential acquisitions to review, and you're going to pick those top good ones.
Right.
And that's how, for us, again, I don't think about sales. I have plenty to choose from. I pick the best ones. I know these are all fantastic, and then I don't have to think about the selling part.
Right. Spend a lot of time pricing your mailer. We've talked about that, I think, earlier this week. If you want to go back a couple of shows and listen to it, it's actually worthwhile. That's how good acquisitions, in my opinion, really happen. Yeah.
And good data.
And make sure you have lots to choose from. So if you send out a mailer and you get 2 back instead of 20, really consider not doing them, because you want to make sure that the deals are really good. If you're sitting around saying, man, I don't know about this one, don't do it.
Exactly.
Especially if you're super new.
Exactly. If it doesn't feel right.
Even now,
yeah.
I'm ready to walk away from any deal. Because there's 30 or 40 of them right behind it.
I don't worry about it at all.
Right now, there's 300 behind it.
That's a good point. So good acquisitions replace sales. Good mailers and good pricings give you good acquisitions.
That's right. And good county
data.
And yeah, it all starts.
Good data
And then choose the right county. So I've only heard reports of a couple of bad responses based on counties. So this works everywhere. It works in every single county. You just have to make sure you price it properly.
I have never, ever had a consulting call where someone had a problem that we could not go back and isolate right where it came from.
Yep, me
Like,
too.
oh, oops.
And
Yep,
I've only
that's
had
where it is.
Maybe 2 or 3 of the hundreds and hundreds of calls that we do on Wednesday.
Right. Well, like, and especially when I have, like, say I have
always
people that
pricing,
are,
by the way. It's
they've
always.
called and they're talking to me because they're thinking about getting in our group. And some of them are sitting around, like, I can remember one in particular was hanging on to this property forever. And he didn't know what he was doing. And I was just helping him, like, okay, we isolated 2 things right off the bat. He wasn't in our world yet, but he is now. Back then, he overpaid,
Well, yeah.
and he was only marketing it in one place.
That's the 2 reasons property don't sell.
And I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
That's the captain.
Number
obvious.
one, you got to get off your plate now. Let's just get rid of it. Cut your losses, move on. And then number 2, I told him, okay, you need to have it here, 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 and here. And he's like, oh, you're right. I only have it on Craigslist. I'm like, yeah, why are you doing that?
You're really setting
It's going to take you
yourself up to
forever.
fail.
Yeah.
Then you're talking about it and going through all the angst and the emotional whatever. And come on, just put it everywhere.
And then, when you, like Captain Obvious, when you kind of say, hey, because you're not reaching the right person, they go, oh, yeah, you're right. You know, I'm only reaching that small group that read Craigslist. I'm missing all these other people.
Yep.
Yes, you are.
I did a call with the guy recently, and he said, I've been a member for like 1.5 years. I've only ever worked one subdivision in Texas. It's about 1.5 hours outside of Dallas, he said. And he didn't give me the name of the subdivision, and I didn't want to know. He said, I've done 80 or 90 transactions, individual transactions, buy and sell, and I've only ever posted on Craigslist, and I've never taken a picture in my life, and I've made $700,000 or $800,000 in this whole thing. And he's got a ton of money coming in. He called me to thank me. I said, listen, man, congratulations, that's great, but are you out now? I mean, is it done?
Right.
And he said, this is about it. The party's over there.
Oh.
So he's like, I said, well, you got to get some stuff in the mail. He said, I know. And then so we went through the whole consulting thing. So
Got it.
You know, great. He's made $700,000-800,000. That's awesome. He's shooting himself in the foot.
Right.
He needs to cast a wider net. You know, I know what he's going to do. He's going to go find another subdivision and milk it dry.
It's like you found one well, and then you used up all the water.
You don't want to do that.
No, you want 1,000 wells. Some of our members are getting really good at that too, and I love it that they're doing multiple counties. They're doing multiple counties on one mailer. I'm like, brilliant. They're really getting into it. I'm like, this is awesome.
With LetterStream, you know, that's perfect. Now it takes all the difficulty out of doing a mailer.
I agree. Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information.
That's me.
And inspiration. That's me. To get just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Thanks for covering me.
You're welcome. Not the first time.
I love Captain Obvious show us buy low and sell high.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah.
I just saved you 4 years of business school right there.
Right.
Buy low, sell high.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. We got to get that on a shirt. That's good.
Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property. I am going to get that on a shirt.
We are Jack and Jill, and
This was the Cash Flow from Land Show. We are the experts at acquiring property
Of all kinds, not just land.
for half price just so we can flip it for way more.
And really fast. Thanks for listening. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.